If you've seen the movie John Wick, where they're wearing like a dinner jacket or a button-up shirt and slacks that are bulletproof and stopping bullets from penetrating through the clothing, and thought, that's just silly. That's just Hollywood, which is what I thought. Well, you're going to be very interested in today's podcast because my guest today has created a company called Civilian that creates and manufactures bulletproof, regular person civilian clothing, t-shirts, hoodies, blouses, things like that, that can stop a bullet from a 44 Magnum, right? This is real. This is not science fiction. And, in society today, it's one of those things you hope you never need the use for. But if you ever do, you'll be glad you're wearing her product. So listen to her entrepreneurial journey and the product that she's created and brought to market here in the United States. Very, very interesting podcast. On today's episode of the ThriveMore podcast, I have the pleasure of speaking with Kami Kay Kirschbaum. Born in Detroit and raised in Pittsburgh, her story has been anything but normal. At 15, she lost a close friend to gun violence, a moment that changed much more than she realized at that time. It planted a seed, a drive to do something bigger, something meaningful. A few years later, at 18 years of old, she bought a one-way ticket to Stockholm, Sweden, ready for a fresh start, and her life has been an adventure ever since. She feels every twist and turn in her life has brought her closer to her purpose, and today she is launching a company called Civilian, a bulletproof clothing company, blending safety with style. Kami Kay, welcome to the podcast. This is going to be great. I've not had anyone with your expertise around that kind of product on this show, so I'm excited about it. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I'm really excited and get to know you better and your audience. So thank you so much for having me.
You bet. You bet. So if we can, let's just go back a bit and just tell me what happened when you were 15, because I think that had a profound impact on what your life plan is right now. So kind of take us back to when you were 15 and that happened.
Yeah, so to respect the family, I won't share too much details basically,
Sure.
but I grew up doing like active shooter drills in school. And so that was one major thing that stuck with me. But yeah, basically whenever, I used to be a hairdresser as well. So whenever I was in cosmetology school, I got really close with a girl and, yeah, one weekend it was just like wrong place, wrong time, basically. And she was, shot and killed to death. And I think that also watching the news, all of these things lead to, kind of like looking up one day and just asking like, okay, where can I help? I think, and where can I add value? Who is designing for the average person? In these situations. So, I mean, that was, yeah, that was, I mean, that happened when I was 15, and that was really hard, and I lost quite a few people in my childhood. So I think the passion for preserving life and understanding, and then that also taught me how short life is from a really young age, which was the good thing. But that those life altering moments, like not everybody gets them, but for me, it was really hard. But you always try to just take the good, leave the bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Detroit, Pittsburgh can be tougher places for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So why at 18? Sure. Why at 18 did you say, okay, instead of moving to like, a suburb or Ohio or somewhere, you said, nope, I'm moving to Stockholm with a one-way ticket. What was that?
Well, again, like red thread, life is short.
Yeah.
I would say so I graduated high school with my cosmetology license, so I could cut hair anywhere.
Yeah.
They have hair in Sweden, so there's a lot of blondes that need upkeep. So, I mean, I was doing that for a while. That got me a work visa. And but I studied a 9-month at a Bible school there, actually. So I studied like a 9-month program there, and then um, loved it, fell in love with the city, and then, you know, um, of course, I ended up breaking up with my boyfriend, but then started dating, and then I met my husband, and now I have a stepson as well. So yeah, it's I have a little Swedish family. So I'm really grateful.
But my notes tell me that at some point you also got deported back to the States, but you were married, right?
Yeah.
Is that yeah?
Yeah.
What?
No.
What?
Oh my God. Yeah. So like this is yeah, this is it's been an eventful like 6 years, I can say,
Yeah.
or seven, almost seven since I moved there. Um, I was working for a hair salon, and they basically didn't follow a lot of rules when it came to my paperwork and my visa, like admin, I mean, but also paying insurance and stuff like that. So my visa was a work visa, and they had to kick me out of the country actually 2 weeks after I got married, and I just moved in with my husband and my stepson. So I just get married, and then I get a letter in the mail saying that I have 30 days to leave the country, and that I have to like start everything over. So, I mean, great that we were married, and I was married at that point, but it had nothing to do with that. It was the previous mistakes of the work
Yeah.
visa, basically.
And
Yeah.
and then did you actually have to leave? Did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
I left.
Wow.
I had to go. I had to buy a one-way ticket back to the States. No, but like actually, and then my parents were going through kind of a divorce at the time, so it was
Mhm.
crazy, crazy time. Me and my dad were both legally married, but like living alone, like living together. And I mean, I treasure that time because we got a lot of great quality time together, but we were like looking at ourselves like, what is going on? It's like, yeah, no, it's been insane. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we go
Mhm.
from like this transition point? You come back to America. Then it sounds like your husband and your stepson may have joined you over here now. Is that?
Well, so that's the long-term plan. That's like
Oh, jeez.
no, no, no. But I mean, I'm working in the States right now. I've been
Yeah.
here only for like 4 weeks. I go home next
Oh,
week.
okay.
So yeah, I'm just here for like launch the brand. I have some meetings that I need to go to, and then no, I head home to Sweden next week.
So
So I'll be
it's been rectified, and you're actually home is now Sweden. Home is
Oh
now
yeah,
Sweden.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. I should have clarified.
No, that's
No,
fine.
I
Yeah.
totally got to go back. I actually studied marketing for a little bit, and then that was really nice because they pay you to study in Sweden, and
Hmm.
I wouldn't have been able to have that opportunity if I was working before, and actually changed careers, and all of this got to happen as well. So um, literally one of the best like ground shaking things was getting deported from Sweden,
Yeah.
because yeah, like I got to study, I got to like look up and see what else I wanted to do because I've been doing hair since I was 15, and now
Yeah.
I'm 25 now, but like I was over it. It's
Sure.
not that I really, I mean, I was ready for new things. So
Yeah.
that was great. And no, but we live in Stockholm. We're gonna live there for a while. We have to raise my stepson there, of course. So we're gonna be based out of there. But I mean, the company is American, and our market is like 100% American right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So how do we go from being deported, then you get back, and then you're studying some marketing and all that, and you decide, you know what is a great idea is well, I don't want to steal the thunder. So what happens? Like how do you come up with Civilian, which is the name of the great name by the way, Civilian, the
Thank
name of
you.
this company, but what does it do? What is
Hmm.
it about, and why?
Hmm. Yeah. So looking back, it was a bit of a blur on how like I don't have a clear moment, but I do believe that I had a dream, literally
Hmm.
a dream where people had this type of clothing, and I was like, okay, that's a good idea. But then, um, 2 weeks later, I started like I told Simon, he's like, that's brilliant, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't know if I could pull this off, and he's like, okay, whatever, we just put it in our back pocket. And then 2 weeks later, we're in the States, and Trump gets shot.
Yeah.
And no matter wherever you stand, whatever, actually someone also died at that rally. That was in Pittsburgh as well. So I was like, what about all these people going to these rallies, and like, who, I mean, of course the cops and everybody has protection, but what about like the civilians,
Yeah.
and how come nobody is like taking care of them, And we even go one step further by, I mean, I can go into it later, but like serving women as well. We have cup sizes and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I was just like, okay, that hit. Growing up with going to active school, shooter drills, that also hit. Losing a really close friend at 15 hit, like this is happening. I'm over in Sweden, like doing whatever, like doing my marketing. I was on the path to become like an art director. And like, yeah, that's great. But I was like, this is happening in my home country, yeah.
Yeah.
So basically I started doing a lot of research. Then I found the specific product that our technology basically that I wanted to work with. It's like 40% lighter than Kevlar. So, okay, lightweight, strong, it's bulletproof. The NIJ, the National Institute of Justice, has a certification that these products should be. So I needed that to work in the States, and a lot of companies don't have that. But I was like, I'm not doing it without that certification. Okay, great. They have that certification. So, um,
And what does the certification do or mean? What is that?
so the product to be, claimed bulletproof needs to be shot and tested, and the like iterated if possible, or it gets shot. If you look at like a plate, basically it gets shot like in 5 different areas, and then it gets shot from diagonals as well. And for the National Institute of Justice to put their label on it, you have to go through this like very vigorous testing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, that was a key part. And then I found who I wanted to work with, and that was also a funny story.
This segment is sponsored by Rockbox Fitness Franchising. Take control of your destiny and join the boutique fitness revolution with Rockbox Fitness. If you're ready to make a real impact in your community and own your own business that empowers people to achieve their best life, then Rockbox is the opportunity you've been looking for. They provide comprehensive support from site selection, upfit, training, and turnkey marketing, so you can open your studio with confidence and a strong recurring revenue member base. Visit rockboxfitness.com and click on franchise opportunities to learn more about this exciting venture in the fast-growing boutique fitness industry. It's time to turn your passion for fitness and for business into a thriving venture. I would imagine there were probably a lot of people like, this woman's crazy. What is she doing? What's, like, how did...
Oh my God. Absolutely. So, I mean, I found the product that I wanted to work with. They only wanted to sell me kilometers of the product. And I can't, so I have like literally, I'm quite, yeah, I'm really, really bad at that stuff actually.
Yeah.
But, I'm good at like creating with my hands, but yeah, no, not the sewing. So they were like, how many kilometers do you want? And I was like, I can't do that. They referred me to a place that referred me to another place, which are my suppliers in Finland.
Mm.
So I go to them, and here comes me out of nowhere. It's in the middle of Finland. I have to like literally take a boat and then either a car, or it's like really, it's not the easiest place to get to. I'm
Yeah.
just going to say it like that. It's in the middle of Finland. And then I'm like, hi, so I want to do this clothing line. And they're like, okay. They're like looking at me like, all right. But then I was like, I know that they have been trying to get into the US market. So I told them, if you, prototype with me, I will get you in. So they were like, okay, cool. So they wanted to work with me, but I can say that I am research and development's biggest headache.
Yeah, of course.
Because
Of course.
I come with new ideas and they are really, I mean, they've been incredible. Like I could not do it without. They have two huge factories in Finland, 30 designers, research and development. Like they're great. They're a really great partner. And since I'm in Stockholm, um, just take the boat plus tax over, and yeah, make it happen.
To break it down for the listeners, and even for me, you are designing bulletproof. Is it? I would say it's bulletproof, not bullet resistant, but bulletproof clothing that an average civilian can wear, and it's stylish enough that it could be worn like out to dinner or to a movie or whatever, out shopping. And people wouldn't really know or recognize it as bulletproof clothing. It would look more like a regular garment.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm going to ask you a really dumb question. I'm a huge John Wick fan. Like, I don't know why I fell in love with that franchise, but I did. I just love it. It's just pure brain candy. But like, I think in John Wick 4, the last one, everybody's got these like dinner jackets that are bulletproof and their slacks are bulletproof. And I'm thinking even if it's bulletproof, that bullet's going to shatter your bone, if it's coming through that, but which is better than penetrating. But how far away from reality is, not somebody getting shot 500 times like they did, but getting shot, whatever, and what you're creating.
Yeah. So luckily with the NIJ certification, it's really very, very clear on what it stops and what it doesn't. We are 3A. So basically most handguns, we can stop. Anything up to like a 44 Magnum, is what our shirts are. And I mean, it's not impact resistant. I always tell people that it could crack your sternum. It's going to leave a bruise, but it will save your life. You will not have your lungs punctured. You will not have your heart punctured. So we don't have any pants, but we do have t-shirts, hoodies, stuff that people normally wear. We have a lot of fun product launches and like planned launches for other items, but I found it very crucial to start with clothes that people actually wear on a daily basis. And I mean, if it's a t-shirt, you can still wear a jacket over it. I actually have it on right now. I can show you.
Yeah.
So I have a jacket on, but it's basically just a t-shirt, and then under is my straps. So it's just adjustable straps, but I can just wear it. It looks just like a normal t-shirt.
So that t-shirt could stop a 9mm pistol.
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. And I think every teacher in America should have one. And I think like in school settings, it should be really important. I mean, we have, right now there's bulletproof backpacks, which are great, but I think kids have a hard time. If you've ever met a kid, they could have a hard time tying their shoe, pouring themselves a glass of water. So I think the bulletproof backpacks put way too much responsibility on the kids. And I think, if a classroom could be equipped with like, say 30, that you just throw on a hoodie, you know how to put on a hoodie. And so, I mean, there's the applications feel quite limitless when it comes to people's safety and where we're at right now. So, I mean, yeah, they look, I mean, they're sewn in, of course, they're sewn in, basically here without giving too much details of the design, but, yeah, it's, that could definitely do that.
Wow. I'll watch that movie with a little more reverence next time. Yeah. So I'm curious. This is not a political show, but I'm just curious. What is your stance on the right to bear arms because you live in a different country. You live in a country that I don't think has a lot of gun violence. I don't believe. Um,
No.
yeah, but very different gun laws too. And then you
Hmm.
juxtapose that being an American, you're born
Hmm.
here and raised here, but you
Hmm.
make this product. I'm just kind of curious
Hmm.
what your thoughts or stance are
Yeah.
on America's gun laws.
Yeah, of course. So, I think owning a gun is good for the reason of the bad guys already have guns.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah,
So we're already here. I don't know how I would feel if you asked me if there were absolutely no guns at all in society, how I would feel about that. That's probably a different thing.
sure.
But since we are here with the context of living in 2025 and the bad guys already have the guns, the evil people, if they're going to hurt you, they will hurt you, right? So if they want to. So I think the good guys should also have guns, and I think that you should have the right to protect yourself. But yeah, we're 2A, like pro Second Amendment, of course. I mean, I've had a lot of mm, we really try not to take an advocate position at all, and I have had very bad experiences with guns, but I still think that well, now that we're here, I think if the bad guys have them, like maybe you want one as well. Or
Sure.
that's
Sure.
why we take a really like defense position. You know what I mean? We have some partnerships signed up right now, but we don't sell firearms. We're
Yeah.
on the defense of it. And I think this is a great product for gun owners because if you are concealed carry or planning to get into those positions, um, shouldn't you be ready for
Yep.
that? Shouldn't you also have an extra layer of defense? And I know a lot of people do,
Yeah.
but it's they sometimes don't like the thought of them getting shot at, even if they are carrying,
Sure.
which I
Sure. Sure.
challenge that as well. So I'm there if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by ThriveMore Autopilot. The latest data shows a large amount of small to mid-sized business owners are living paycheck to paycheck, and that is not why you started a business in the first place. We all start businesses to create the freedom in our lives that we want and to give us options. But to do that, you need more leads, and you need to turn those prospects into long-term paying customers. Well, the solution is ThriveMore Autopilot. ThriveMore Autopilot is the turnkey solution to take the stress and the hard work out of new customer acquisition, which is the lifeblood of any small business. ThriveMore Autopilot works on your behalf to generate a waterfall of new leads through various channels, to nurture those leads with proprietary AI solutions that mimic human interaction, to sell memberships and help you increase your monthly recurring revenue, and they even provide you coaching and your team coaching on the most effective sales techniques and give you a community of other like-minded business owners. ThriveMore Autopilot is how you scale your business without stress and the relentless phone calls and texts and reach outs to the prospects to get them to show up for that first appointment or to show up to that call. So learn how ThriveMore Autopilot can help you win big by going to thrivemore.ai. That's thrivemore.ai. ThriveMore Autopilot, the strategic partner for small to mid-sized business owners to help you scale and live the life of your dreams. So is the goal to sell this through, firearm stores or sporting goods stores, or are you looking to get it into even like regular mainstream department stores with this line? What's the short-term goal and the long-term goal?
The short term goal, because we can serve a lot of people, we can serve civilians, high risk professionals, and military. Of course, we can do bidding on military contracts as well. To be focused and to be smart with our energy and our time, the next 3 to 6 months will be heavily focused on consumer market. So, ecom, we just have secured two new contracts for ecom platforms that will also be selling our product. We have our own website that you can purchase from, and yeah, I mean, because of the nature of the company, we are going to be a lot of ecom focused, but also getting into stores that would be great. Like I said, since we're not selling firearms, we have a lot more freedom for this. You know, like we could be in Macy's, but Macy's is not growing. So I don't
Yeah,
like,
this is true.
and so I would
This is
love to
true.
be, but yeah,
Yeah.
but can you sell? That's the question that when I work with an influencer, when I work with anybody, it's great. I would love to work with you. Can you sell? Like,
Yeah.
are you also growing? Are we going to have shared growth? Those things. And I see that a lot more in the digitalization of the world. But also there are tons of customers that could benefit from having this at their local firearm store as well. But there are some weird buyback policies and stuff like that. You know, if you,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
okay, hey, great, we want 20 pieces. Okay, awesome. In 6 months, whatever you don't sell, we have to buy back. So I'm trying to like actively avoid those situations. We have the freedom of like not needing insane amounts of inventory.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, on a very practical level, I would love to get into, I mean, Dick's or Cabela's or, these huge stores. So I wouldn't say no to that at all.
Sure.
I think this should be in front of people because people need to see it. They need to feel it. They need to see like, that's the benefits of retail,
Yeah.
basically. So I definitely see both, but within the very short term goal, it's like, it's online.
If these are going to be two questions that are kind of out of left field, and then at the end, I want to have you share how people can find you, follow you, find the products. So you've now created this company and this brand and these products that can save people's lives, literally can. And so if we were to fast forward to the end of your life, and you have, we're at your funeral, and a loved one is reading your eulogy, but they're only allowed to say 3 words. They don't have to make a phrase or anything, but they can only they want to describe your life. They only have 3 words to do so. What 3 words do you hope they pick? What 3 descriptors do you hope they pick that describes Kami's life that she lived and the impact she had on the people around her and the people that she worked with and knew?
Hmm. It's a great question. I would say these sound very basic, but if you can capture them and mean them with your whole heart, like
Mm-hmm.
they mean a lot to me. So I would say like passionate and then fun and then loving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and also, I guess bravery is really important to me as well, but that could be part of the passion, I guess.
Yeah.
But you should care about what you do, and you should try to show up every day, giving your best. So that's been a big theme recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. No right or
Mm.
wrong answer to that. Just yeah.
Yeah,
And then
reflect.
again, maybe in the context of what you're embarking on, but doesn't have to be. If I gave you a magic wand and Kami, you could change the world in one material way, just the way the world works, the way people interact, the way things are in our world, with just one way. If I gave you that wand, you waved it tonight, and tomorrow morning we woke up, how would the world be different according to Kami Kay?
Well, I think again, like love is the center. If we had a lot more love in this world, civilian wouldn't even have to exist.
Mm.
And I am so fine with that. So I don't care if I go out of business one day because the world is too safe of a place for this product. We don't need bulletproof vest for humans anymore. Great. I'm creative enough to figure it out. I'm creative enough I can do whatever I want with my life. I don't need to do this. I really feel like I need to do this right now because of where we're at and with the context. But I don't, just so everybody knows, this is not something that is like fun to do. You know what I mean? This is a really heavy, heavy burden to carry. People comment really crazy things on our Instagram. They think that since we are taking this position, we are the ones who are talking about it. That's not always a great, fun thing to do, right? So I like would love to have a safe enough world, where we don't have to have our kids invest at school, or where that's even but we are. So I mean, the answer to that question is definitely love, because I would love to paint all day or create something else. Creating is what I love to do, and creating is what I'm created to do.
Yeah.
But I don't need this as my avenue. So I would just say like more love and everything. In the last 6-7 years, in every situation or every new person I've met, it's like meet them with love, if you can.
It's great. It's beautiful. And what you're doing is important, by the way. What you're doing is important. So where can people find you, follow you, find the products? Like and we'll put that all in the show notes for people too. So, if they're watching on YouTube, they'll see it right there. If they're driving, listening to Spotify or Apple, they can grab it there too. So, how do people find you?
Well, everywhere, kind of. But we are, I mean, yeah, we're civilianco.com. And we are Civilian Co. Instagram. That will be linked, so you guys can just press a button. But we are going to be, I can't say it, but we have 2 really fun new partnerships that if you do follow, you should be looking forward to, including, financing. We are a higher end product, but there will be financing involved soon. So just stay tuned. And if nothing else, follow the journey, because I can promise it's always something with me.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's entrepreneurship. That's entrepreneurship. If this were easy, everybody would do it. Everybody would do
Yep.
it. Yeah. Well, hey, I'm grateful you came on, and I think you're doing great work. I think you're doing great work and important work, right? I love how you allow your creativity to come through in a product that can literally, not just literally save lives. So
thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot.
Thank you for tuning in to the ThriveMore podcast. Don't forget to take a look at the show notes for any of the resources that we mentioned during the podcast. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you have access to the latest and the greatest. You can connect with me on any of the socials at Real Roger Martin. And be sure to check out our website, ThriveMoreBrands.com. There you'll find information on the brands we support and information on franchising. Thanks again for tuning in.